Yeah, so Dream Theater has always been a band that I've really enjoyed listening to. Um, I haven't really been an avid listener and kept up with each release. You know, I know that their major albums. I had, some favorites before, that I've kind of really latched onto, then, kind of just lost focus on listening to every single release. And now that we're kind of just doing releases every month that come out, and it just seemed to be a good opportunity to be able to take a look at this. So yeah, I'll just get right into my review. Start off with In the Arms of Morpheus. I gave this an 8 out of 10. It's a good recap of all the songs on the album, kind of the melodies and themes bundled up in one. I like when bands do that kind of thing. It kind of carries that kind of cool variation of like happy to aggressive sounding melodies, like sad to light, dark and light. While most of those types of things come at the end of the album, it's kind of cool to see them kind of like, what's to come, set the tone. Yeah, so you go on to Night Terror. Night Terror was one of the top songs I loved on this album. One of the best choruses on the album. It's got a little bit of everything you look for in a song. It's got the slow, foreboding opener to the rocking riff, the great chorus. It's got some cool progressive moments. It almost gives me a black metal vibe, actually. That opening riff with that, it just that is such a black metal kind of take from like what's used a lot in that genre. Just love that cool medieval keyboards. It's definitely in my lane on this one. Yeah, I bet it's real fun to play live. It does drag on, but I mean that's a Theater specialty, and like that is the type of band they are. They like to go off roading in the sense of like musically kind of taking changes. So yeah, like 9 out of 10 for me. Definitely one of the top songs in the album. And then you get to Broken Man. This was a 7.5. I wasn't a fan of the opening. It sounded like they were trying to do the YZZY. I can't even remember the name of that song by Rush, XYZ or whatever it was called. Um, it like it literally has that Rush feel to it, and it just overall it does a lot of stuff early before it gets even to the pre-chorus, the chorus bridge, or any of the other parts of the song. Um, you know, that's just sometimes they get caught up in that. It really does do some cool off time beat, sporadic changes, and it even goes into like a jazzy blues part. Ripping some crazy solo work. Um, I love the energy, I love the ability, but this one's a little disjointed for me to make it into one of their more top songs of this album, but and lost a little momentum. But 7.5 for me, still solid song. Uh, you know, it does get a little off sidetracked. Then you get Dead Asleep, groovy, hard hitting riffs. This whole album has that kind of vibe going on with it. Good, great chorus, cool atmospheric synth orchestral stuff going on, and then it kind of just jumps all around. It's got some southern metal riff to a straight bluesy guitar solo, so you get a little bit of everything you want uh, in this kind of song here. 8 out of 10. And then we get to my favorite track on the album, Midnight Messiah. This is straight out of the book of Metallica. It reminds me of One. It's got the vocal parts about being trapped, and like, it almost reminds me of the song One with that influential nod to that song. This song is just a straight banger across the board. It really was one of the songs that I initially listened to and gave me that Metallica feel, which I hate saying they have their own genre sound now, but it's just like, uh, there's a lot of elements to it that remind me of Metallica. Let's put it that way. But yeah, this song just never has a boring part to it. It wraps everything up nicely. It never stays too long on any of the parts, and I just love the rhythmic. It also kind of reminds me of Megadeth too. That opener, that riff, and the cadence of his voice. And I don't know if we'll see what Kyle says, but throughout this whole album, the lead singer really stays away from high registers that, like, I think Kyle never really liked from Dream Theater. He definitely, I think, and like Kyle had spoken about, just his vocals being off or whatever lately, and I think a lot of people have mentioned that the vocalist might be kind of doing the old Bon Jovi. I need to stay away from higher registers and really putting my voice out there if I can't pull it off. And I don't know what he's doing live. I'm sure he's uh, you know doing his best that he can do. But I think in this album, he definitely stayed away from too many high registered kind of vocals. And Midnight Messiah is just a 10. Are We Dreaming? Just a some kind of a little interlude instrumental thing, so couldn't really rate that. Bend the Clock, great song, great emotional opener to the song. It's just got that soaring chorus. It really gets stuck in your ear. Accompanying piano gives it that triumphant and epic feel. I just love this song, and it's such a just a cool opener to the, like, how it opens with that kind of quiet, just it just is one of the just a great song. So, Bend the Clock's 9 out of 10. Then we get to the Shadow Man incident. Man, clocking in at 19 and a half minutes. This will challenge many of the listeners who are, not familiar with the progressive song kind of, um, you know, randomness. So it's got the slow flowing parts. It dips into a psychedelic feel, shredding. It's got a metal rock opera feel. It's just got brilliant musicianship, like layered over everything. The guitars, the piano, interesting drums. It's a solid 8 out of 10. Definitely goes on a long time, but I think it does some really cool things enough that it's not just sounds like it's just doing nothing. Yeah, so overall, it's just a hard-hitting, guitar-driven album brewed together with a lot of dark atmosphere and like a story to boot. Dream Theater has always paved the way for the continuation of the music genre. Sitting up there with some of the great like Symphony X, Angra, Porcupine Tree, Tool, even Beardfish kind of sit in this genre. The guitar of John Petrucci blazes along at a precise pace. And even kind of it's good to see the return of Mike Portnoy on drums and how he kind of came back into the fold. While this album does at times lose momentum of the songs in order to like stop and go off road with its progressive dabbling, you can't help but like get mesmerized by a little bit of the whole picture that comes together. As a music lover who lives very well in this progressive music genre, I do get worn out by some of the songs that casually leave its familiar sounding parts to weave in some intricate musical measures. But overall, it brings a lot of melodic mixture in that sticks with the average listener. I believe the average listener might not be familiar, might get lost in translation with that. But I think like overall, those who are somewhere sitting in the middle will enjoy the amount of heavy, dark, light, melodic, progressive enough that it doesn't overdo one to bury the other. So yeah, I'm sitting at an 8.5 for this album. Solid album. Uh, Good to return back to. Lots of stuff to chew on. It's got a lot of different parts that kind of conjure up a cool feeling to it.